your mind. Yo, this that's what you ready. Nigga, don't let it go down. My soul. Nigga, don't let this breathe. You want me to smack? You don't let this breathe. You ain't got to worry about that. Anybody doing something better? You ain't got to worry about that. Anybody doing something better than me? Anybody? You gonna be right. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Coach Booker, in the building. We are on the lines after dog, man. So 6, man. Just waiting on a few guys to get on. You know, just waiting for a few guys to get on. They popping in. I think we're gonna have Coach Washington coming on tonight. We probably gonna have Coach Tony C. We probably gonna have Coach Orlando of Impact Culture, the podcast, coming on. So we're just gonna come on, man, and chop it up on the line after dark. The line after dark, episode 6. We just coming on tonight, man. I just want to let y'all. First of all, I always gotta say thank you to my viewers, man. I like to say thank you, man. Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you for following us on Facebook. Thank you for all the likes, sharing our content. Just want to say we really do appreciate you guys, man, because without you, this podcast couldn't be possible. It wouldn't go anywhere. It wouldn't keep me motivated, man, but y'all keep me motivated, man, because y'all keep sharing my stuff and y'all keep following, man. And once again, we still pretty new at this. So we're gonna get better, right? But tonight, man, I just want to tell you about the network, the On the Line network. On the Line network, we got On the Line Sports Media, right? So On the Line Sports Media is just kind of covers all phases of athletes, from youth sports to middle school. We're gonna do some high school, and then we're gonna find out what's going on. Of course, we do our portion of finding out what's going on in the NFL, find out what's going on in the NBA. We follow all the drafts and all of that. So we got several different phases of what we do here on the line, and then we have our On the Line podcast where we sit down and we're going to talk to a bunch of power plays. We talk to a bunch of power plays, people that have some powerful stories that they want to tell, some people that's moving and shaking in Mecklenburg County or anywhere in the country. We bring them here in the studio. We sit down, we do one-on-one interview with them. And that's what we do, man. And we get out in the community, man. And we video kids, and we give them opportunity to get on the camera, and we talk to coaches. And we just like to chop it up with everybody, man, giving everybody a little bit of exposure. So that's what we do here on the line. We got a lot of interesting stuff coming up. So please continue to go to our YouTube channel and like, subscribe, and share content. We can't do it without you. Listen, I got my man coming on, man. And he out there big time. I know y'all don't like, shared, and subscribe to his channel too. He been out here for a minute, man. WEA Sports, man. He training kids. He'll train whoever, man. What's the name of that spot back there in the back of your house?
The
Now unmute
Footwork Factory.
the footwork factory. So listen, if you're trying to get your footwork right, right, and if you're trying to get your footwork right, if your footwork ain't right, y'all know what your footwork look like. If you know your footwork ain't right, you gotta go see my man, Coach Washington, at the Footwork Factory, baby. Hey, right there in his backyard, man. And they doing it big, man. He doing it big, man. He gonna have your footwork right. I know that. And guess what? If he can't get your footwork right, he gonna bring somebody in to help get your footwork right. I'm just telling you, he gonna get your footwork right. Hey, but check this out. He gonna get a whole lot of people footwork right tomorrow night.
Yes.
Right, right, Coach. Tell him
Yep.
what you're doing, Coach.
We're having middle school elite football camp. We're gonna do a combine middle school elite football camp at West Charlotte from 6 to 9. We got like 100 kids signed up for that camp, man. We're gonna turn the city out. The kids coming at 6. We're gonna do the combine first, get their times, and then we're gonna flip it over into the football camp. I got the best high school coaches in the city working that camp, so kids gonna come out, run the 40s, L drills. Then we gonna camp them out on the football side.
Let me ask you something, Coach. How important is that 40-yard? How important is that 40-yard dash as it relates to a kid, an eighth grader, right now, a ninth grader? Is this a perfect time for him to start working on it, or how important is it for him to be fast right now?
Yeah, it's development. So they need to start working on it now. So when they get to be in 11th, 12th grade, they can run a good 40. Like we used to put them in the high school camps. We used to have it, but we took it out because we had kids coming to the camp doing a great job at the camp, far as on the football side. But when the coach started looking at those 40 numbers, it was, it could hurt a kid because he could have a great camp and then he look at his numbers and be like, oh, he too slow. The 40 time is important. Kids need to start working on it and develop it over time. So when they get to, like the 10th, 11th, like say 12th grade, and they go to camps and run it, they can put up a decent time. But I wouldn't run it but you don't have to run the 40 at the camps, but it's important you do.
So
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out, why is the 40-yard dash? So you got a kid that's been on a coach's radar, right? Been on a coach's radar, big time.
Mm-hmm.
He comes in, he runs the 40, and now he ain't on the radar no more. What? I don't get that.
Some coaches are anal with this with numbers. Some coaches are analytical. They look at numbers. Kid can have, if he ain't running that a certain position, running a certain 40 time, they can tend to look over that kid. They might want corners running 4.44 or under. They might not want a 4.5 corner. They might want to run a certain speed and be a certain height. So it depends on the coaches. But I don't think the 40 is that important. If a kid can go, he can go.
Yeah, because
you got game speed too. Some kids get in the field, they just quick.
Right. Because I just don't see how the 40 is. It is important.
It's important, but they looking for that guy. They want to see them sub 4 threes and all that. The pros in the NFL, I can understand, but college, you got guys like my man Callaway that played at South Meck, went to Central. He wasn't a fast guy, but when he can run a great route and get open, and catch the ball and take it down the field. So you got game speed. Some kids, they just, they're quick and they got game speed. So when they get the ball in their hand, they can take it to the house. I don't think the 40 is that important, but it's good to work on that 40, work on that, because that's like part of track. Like I think kids should run track so they can work on how to run. Because if you're going to be a baller, you're a baller, and you getting drafted, you're going to know how to run that 40. You need to know how to run that 40.
So you definitely having timing these boards. You definitely timing these boards in the 40.
Yeah, we're timing them. We're not using lasers now, but
tomorrow
we're gonna time them in the 40 to see where they at. It's just to give them to see where they at their age, where I'm at. So they can go be like, I need to work on I need to work on this, because you do need to develop the technique and the skill, because it's a technique to it. Besides speed, you got to have like a technique so they can go work on that and see what they can. Then they can start working on that, bettering that, maybe getting them into track.
What other kind of drills are you having for the camp?
Which for the combine, we're doing the 5, 10, 5.
For the combine.
That's the shuttle. We're gonna do the shuttle. Then we're gonna do like the L drill, and that's about it. We're just doing the L, the shuttle, and then we're just gonna do the 40, and then we're gonna move that along and get straight to the camp.
Right, and the camp, it consists of like 7-on-7 stuff, 1-on-1.
The camp, we're going to start it off with positionals first, letting them work with the high school coaches, letting them learn and get coached up in positionals. And then we'll move to like more group work, quarterbacks and wide receivers, running backs and linebackers kind of going at it, D-line and O-line working on some things. And we'll do that for about 15, 20 minutes. We'll do positionals for about 35, 40 minutes, 15 minutes of group work. And then once we're done with the group work, we're going to get into the one-on-ones.
So what's the overall goal?
The overall goal
having this camp.
The goal is to get them ready for when they get to high school, because we do the high school prospect camps. So we're trying to get them ready so they'll know what they're doing when they get to these high school camps, these college camps. They'll be more prepared. They'll know how a camp is ran, the flow of a camp, what the coaches are looking for, the drills, so they can be more productive when they get to these camps and not just be out here like lost in the wind. They already been to a camp. They know a camp structure. They understand the flow of a camp and how everything goes. And we're just getting them ready for the big show, the college camps.
Right. So, we got my man Tony C
on that fundamentals and basics, man. Fundamentals and basics.
Hey, Tony, man, you coming out to the camp?
Yeah, I'm good at the camp. Washington hit me up today about the camp, so it's usually a pretty good look for those kids, man. Like Washington was saying, man, it kind of get them used to same thing you did with the camps that you were running. Get those kids used to those different Under Armour and Nike camps, because I've seen kids in high school get to those camps and be lost and not sure, how to do what or what to perform or what drills to do or not do or things to work on, before they get to those high school camps. So I think it's a good look.
The big question is, Booker, are you going to be at the camp going live?
That's a good question. Where you go? He ran off?
I don't know where he ran, Tony. But I know you ready for the camp tomorrow. We're going to get it going. We're going to put on a show for those kids, man.
And you said it's big numbers out there, right?
We got big numbers out there. We got a couple kids who used to, a couple WA camp alums are going to be out there working the camp with the kids, helping them on the combine drills. A lot of kids home from college. A lot of high school kids who came to those camps earlier when they was in middle school and came to our prospect camps. They're going to be out there working and assisting the kids. and helping them get through the camp and giving them some knowledge.
So let me ask you this, Coach Watson.
So
What separates WA camp from other camps, middle school camps, or are there any other middle school camps in there, or is it the only or first one?
We've been camping for a couple of years, and I haven't seen really that many middle school camps. I know maybe FBU do a big camp, but nothing locally. You know, I think we're the only camp locally, and what separates us, man, you know, working on fundamentals and skill sets, how to teach you really how to run a route, the terminology. We got high school coaches working the camp. So you're going to get coached by a high school coach that's going to get you prepared. We're getting them prepared for the next level, move from youth to middle school to high school. So that's why we bring in the high school coaches to get them ready so they can look and, you know, help develop the next guys.
as far as you know, Coach, what's the toughest transition from the middle school to high school? 8th grader getting to 4th grade program
Mental
or high school program.
mental toughness. You got to be mental focus, toughness. Because when you're moving from middle school now, you got to you're competing against more kids. You're competing against more kids on the team. Some kids have been training. And they've been training, so now they're more prepared than you. You got to be working on the weight room, getting into the weight room now, developing, you know, working on your muscles, getting your size developed. Some kids haven't started lifting weights yet, so that's going to be a change for them. Competing, that's going to be the biggest thing. Learning how to compete, and I think terminology. You know, different coaches use different terminology. Like some kids don't know what a 3 technique is or 1 technique. Some kids don't even know the route tree. Coach, you know, just say run a slant, run a go. So I think terminology is the big thing in competing. And really,
Is the route tree still universal?
Yeah, everybody use that route tree, man. You better know your numbers in 7-on-7. They just call it
8 is an 8, a 9 is a 9.
You know, I'm teaching my son. We go over the route tree. I'm teaching him, my nephew, going over the route tree. You gotta just learn
it. Still universal, man.
Yep.
I don't think it is, twin. I don't think it is still universal.
You don't think it's universal?
No. It's like I don't know, man. It's this weird thing in coaching that every 3 years, all the coaches want to come up with new terminology, which is the same thing. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same shit. So if you go from
it's still universal,
right? You go from a post to a skinny post, and then you want to keep it inside the hash. I mean, it just seemed like it just changes constantly. So when you say, yeah, it's a foundation, but like if you say to a high school kid, run a post, he's gonna ask you about 4 different posts to run, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. But the numbers, you guys still use it in high school?
For the most part, yeah. But I mean, everything is based off a scheme and an install for different systems. So I mean, it changes pretty much. It's more the concepts than it is the actual route. But when you get down into those individual drills, it should be that important. But I don't think it is. I don't think so.
So you don't think it's important for them to know the numbers?
Nah, not really.
It's more so about the scheme numbers.
From what I've seen.
Well, let's talk about a younger kid growing up, a younger kid learning.
Right. So like
they should know the route.
Like Coach Washington said, it's going to be most based off the terminology that they're using. Again, it's the same thing. I mean, if you tell a kid to run a hitch or a dig, I mean, we'll say a 6, but I mean, they're not going to say run a 6 or 7 or 9.
Oh, right. But they'll still say run a 2. I mean, I think they'll just say run a slant. They won't say run.
Yeah, you just have to learn the actual tree before you can learn the variations of the tree, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Washington, any special guests out there, man?
You gonna be out there live.
Ah,
Live.
if that's the case, man, all of us special then.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Flowers, the head coach of Johnson C. Smith. He's gonna make try to make an appearance. He said he should be back in town from recruiting. So if he say he can't get at the beginning of the camp, he should be at the end to speak to the kids. So we're gonna have Coach Flowers come out there, the head coach of Johnson C. Smith. He's doing a great job of recruiting the local kids in the area and building that program up. So, and plus the school is right down the street, so they need to see him and he need to see them. You know, build that community up.
Yeah, I think the overall message of kids should be um, learning how being able to compete, bro. Because a lot of our kids don't like to compete because they go somewhere else, right? They don't really like that process.
No, a lot of kids don't like.
So I think that's a loud message that need to be sent to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going to talk about at the camp tomorrow, man. That's going to be the big thing. I got a lot of youth organizations, a lot of middle schools, that teammates. But tomorrow, I'm just preaching. He's not out here. He's your friend, but you're going to have to compete against him today. If you go up against him, we're expecting you to compete and take advantage of your friend if you have to. Because we are giving away MVP awards at the camp, so you got to earn it. You don't have to go out here and fight for your position. And and you want to win the MVP, you got to go out here and outwork your teammate, your friend, your brother. You're gonna have to go out there and put that work in. So competing is gonna be the big thing tomorrow.
Right. I tell kids a lot of times, but there's two type of times when you ain't got no friends: jail time and playing time. You ain't got no friends.
Now, Coach, you're gonna be at the camp tomorrow too. Flendo working the camp.
Absolutely,
you got the best in the city.
Man. Well, miss it, man. This probably what my shit. I'm a vet at these camps.
You
man.
a vet.
I've been working them since when we had 8 kids on Friday night at Revolution.
Yeah,
man. I'm proud of you, man. I've seen this thing grow, man. It's a great camp, man. I'll always recommend people go to camp, man. You're gonna get some great coaches.
Tony's third camp, maybe his second or third camp.
Yeah, you're gonna have some vets out there, brother.
Yeah, usually for some reason, I think I've always had something going on.
Yep.
Except for this year, I didn't get invited.
Oh man, you invited. I made sure I sent your kids the link to your AD to get them out there.
No, I'm talking about me, Coach Booker.
Coach Booker is gonna be out there live, showing the world what these Charlotte kids can do.
That's right. That's right.
Coming out there anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great camp, man. I'm excited about it.
Hey, Coach. Well, listen, man. You gotta have Coach Orlando out there, man. Another. We had the last show. We was wanting to announce something, but we didn't get to announce it. We announced the fact that Orlando Park is now the new strength and conditioning coach at Butler High School, man. Congratulations,
Absolutely.
Coach, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, man. That's been on the top of the list, man, since I started training, man. That's always been the goal, man. Is train those Bulldogs, man. And the opportunity came about, man. I had a couple of irons in the fire, man, but when that one jumped in, man, I had to do it, bro. It was like I said, it's like one of my dream jobs, man. I've been wanting to get with those kids for a long time. I've trained a lot of kids that played at Butler. Some of the kids is there now, man. I've worked with them since they were kids, like literally 9-year-olds, right? So, man, to be in there, it feels like home, bro. Honestly, I've been supporting the Bulldogs for a long time with my nephew playing there, my son playing there, and my next son coming through. He about to start playing there. So, yeah, man, it's exciting, bro. And you got some dogs in there, bro. We got some dogs.
I believe it too,
man. So I tell them right now, the one thing we won't lose on is being strong and conditioned. That won't happen. We will be ready. We will be ready. So the kids seem to be buying into the process, man. And yeah, I'm just loving it, man. So I'm thankful and appreciative, man. And they could have called a lot of people, man. So listen, I'm humble, but I'm ready to work. That's for sure.
I saw you in the video, man. You look happy in the video.
Man, come on, boy. I was happy as pig and shit.
You look happy, man. Hey, man, I'm telling you, that's what it's about, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Ain't nothing like being in a situation where you happy to do what you love doing.
Oh yeah, man. When you I believe in it, man. I believe you can speak things in existence, man. I said it a long time ago and I left it alone. You know what I'm saying? I said one day I'm gonna be the strength coach there. But I just left it at that. You know what I'm saying? So universe got a way of working things out, man, when you do your thing the right way, and your work speaks for itself, man. So I don't really have to say a lot. I know I have a high expectation, which I'm accustomed to, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. So, but hey, what they say when preparedness means opportunity, man, it's no brainer.
and them kids gonna be locked in too. Philando, you've been, like you said, you've been working on a lot of them kids since they were playing at the Mint Hill Chargers, man.
Yeah,
some of them are seniors, and some of them are like juniors, but you've been in that program for a couple of years now. Those kids are gonna be locked in because they already know what the results are gonna be working with you.
Oh yeah, they know what the expectation is, so it is what it is. I got a phone call from my boy Zach. He was like, they called him, was like, "Damn, coach, it's gonna always be like this." I'm like, "Yep." He said, "You better get used to
it." hey, this is a true story, Coach Clark. I got a friend whose daughter goes to Butler, and she called me and asked me if I knew the new strength and conditioning coach, and said that her daughter was she was nervous because she seen the guys come out of the weight room. Said their faces were red and they looked like they'd been running a marathon. I said, "Boy, he already had it."
Already.
Said they were working. She said, "I said no." She thought. I guess she thought you were gonna be like, are you there full time?
No, I just come for football.
Oh, yeah, she was nervous. I said, I think he's just doing football. So the guys came out there sweating, so their faces were red. They had been through it.
Yeah. Hey, come on, man. You know how I go.
Don't play with him.
I ain't gonna play with him, man. Listen, like I said, it won't because we're not conditioned. That I can guarantee you that won't be the problem. So, man, yeah, it's a blessing.
So,
bro. I'm grateful and I'm grateful.
Do you set a plan for like individual kids if they, diet or if they lack of something? Do you kind of mind what they do? And
yeah, you kind of you can make alternatives to the movements, man. You can modify certain things. A lot of those kids, I'm fortunate because all the kids in there now have been in there, so they've been there through the football season and work with Coach Stone and weight training, so they're familiar with lifting. So I'm not really having to go through that teaching process yet. Now, once summer hits and you got the middle school kids coming in, then it's going to be some reprogramming. But so I'm fortunate to walk into that situation right now where I don't really have to do a lot of instructing, so to speak. It's correcting, but most kids, for the most part, have the base of the movement down. You know what I'm saying? The core part of it. So it's tweaks in there, and but that part is going to come, once the summer hits. You got the 8th graders coming in, but I have a plan. So I have a whole process. I created a program called the Power 5, and this is going to be my program where I use it with because I have to athletes that can actually perform the lifts, and they're familiar with the weight room. So it's a plan. It's based off of push-pull theory and a spine compression and decompression. So if for instance, when I say compression and decompression, like if I'm gonna do a squat, I'm gonna follow that up with some kind of hanging movement, like a pull up. You know what I'm saying? Something that's gonna stretch the spine out again. So it's gonna aid in the process of recovery. It's gonna speed that recovery process up. And, you know, it's gonna keep them, you know, mobile, keep them loose and flexible, and you know, the agility is gonna be there. So, you know, so I incorporate strength movements, speed movement, core movement in every single workout. So I'm excited to see the results. I've seen it actually with a few kids I used it on this summer, and their numbers went through the roof, man. Like they're, you know, so it's based off it's pretty scientific. You know, it's based off your 1 rep max percentages. So we're not just going in there blind, you know what I'm saying? We're not just throwing weights around with no purpose. So you know, we're gonna keep raising the bar. You know, weekly, the percentages are gonna go up till we get to that max week. And when we get to that max week, those numbers are gonna go up. You know, because if you're doing, it's a 5 rep theory, right? So if you're doing 5 reps at 90% of your 1 rep max, it's a no-brainer what's going to happen with your 1 rep max, right? So it's designed to continue to keep kids getting stronger, bigger, more flexible, more, you know, core strength and conditioning as well. That's the key component to it. You got to be conditioned to do these workouts, you know. So yeah, so it's fun, man. I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, I'm excited, man. I can't
So if
wait to see
you
the process.
so if Butler is out there getting around, then it's on you.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said, so if Butler players are out there getting around, they out there getting bullied, it's on you.
You know why? I understand that, because they ain't make no sense what you just say. I couldn't comprehend that. That don't make no sense.
All right, that's what's up.
I can't even entertain that question, bro, because that is
That's
not
what's
gonna
up.
happen.
Let me ask you this, Coach Clark. So, being a strength and conditioning coach on that level, is it good for those guys to actually take, you know, like a weight training class, or are they going to get enough with you, or is it mandatory that they do something, or should they be doing something outside of what they're doing with you?
Well, because you know, that's a good question. That's a conversation I actually had with Stone. He's a weight training coach over there. So the football kids, he have them do something different than the other kids, because he knows that they're going to be training in the afternoon. So he might have them doing auxiliary movements, more, you know, stretching, more, you know, stability muscle movements, you know, stuff like that. Nothing really heavy and pressing, so they can be prepared for the afternoon workout. So, you know, it's not at that age. 2 days is nothing. You know, their recovery process is so fast, and you're certainly not going to stack 2 workouts on top of each other. So it'll be basically a complementary workout to what they did prior to, you know what I'm saying? So we won't have that issue of overtraining, you know what I'm saying? So, and then some of the kids that's going to need it because they just don't have the weightlifting experience. So, you know, we come with some pretty advanced stuff, man. So we you know, the more prepared you are, the better for me.
Cool.
Yeah, man. So, you know, I've done this for a while, man. You know, I've worked with some prep teams here, you know, college preparatory teams. So it's essentially the same, you know, except you got basically 5th-year seniors you're working with, essentially. So, you know, it's going to translate, you know, down to that level as well. So, you know, I was down at Myrtle Beach prep, then it was here in Charlotte with Gyro prep for a few years. So, you know, yeah, it's a proven process. So I'm excited.
So you gonna be on the sidelines with your sleeveless shirts in the wintertime?
Man, I don't even wear sleeveless shirts, bro. I wear sweatshirts all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. I'm you know, I don't need to take their thunder. They don't need to be looking at me.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Nah, man. You know, hey, listen. If that's what they need, they say, Coach, coming in with them sleeves off. I'm coming with the sleeves off.
Usually the strength and conditioning coaches don't wear sleeves on the sideline.
Nah, man. Some of them do. Some of them don't. You know. It all depends on what that strength and conditioning coach look like.
Yeah, you're right. Well, you should look the part, right? If you're a strength and conditioning coach, shouldn't you?
Hey, you'd be surprised.
Like,
you would be surprised. You know, but yeah, it's popular, man. It's gonna be good shit, bro. I can't wait.
Uh,
Man, speaking of that, man,
don't end
I
the
was
stream though,
lunch
right?
today. Just show you what a small world this coaching fraternity is.
Don't
So
end
I
the
was eating
stream. You
lunch,
hit end stream.
and then this guy had a Butler 2021 shirt on. So I was like, "Hey, did you play for
Mhm.
Butler?" He said, "Yeah." He's talking about at Western now, and I was like, "Shit, my nephew's up there." And I was like, "Zion Booker." He's like, "That's a fucking dog." First word out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? And then that guy is actually leaving to go to Pitt. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a who you know business, man.
Yeah, it is.
That's why you got to protect that name, man. Protect your work, you know, because you never know. You know, those contacts are important, bro. It's a small fraternity, and everybody talking to each other.
You know what I've seen? I've always told kids this, man. It's important about how your teammates feel about you too.
True.
You know, some kids will be individuals and they don't understand for instance, if you're a freshman and if that starting linebacker, if you're able to win him over, he's able to win the coach over for your opportunity.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So just like the same thing you just said about Zion, I was talking to a kid and he said that a college was looking to offer him because a teammate told him that went there that he was good and they need to get him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That relationship building is important.
There you go. That's what it's about, man. It's about relationships.
Zion Booker is a dog. He's a dog, baby.
Oh yeah, he's a dog. But the thing is, Tony, what you saying, man, that relationship is important, man, because listen, man, you never know when you're gonna need a call on that. You know?
Yeah.
That's why I always tell these kids, man, like when you're being recruited, even if you know you have no intentions of going to that school, you still need to be courteous, thank the coach, build a relationship with the coach, because coaches' jobs change all the time. And when that wagon circles back around and you an asshole to him because he was D3, now he D2, guess what? He gonna remember that. And his friends gonna remember that too, because he gonna tell him, nah, I'm not messing with that kid.
Hey, scholarships are for 1 year at this point.
Yep, they've been that way.
I think it's worse now. I mean,
it's way
got 1
worse
year
now.
to show you good enough to be here or good enough to go somewhere higher and get some money.
Speaking of that, you heard what Dabo said about the portal?
Yeah, what you were saying something about that?
He said the guys in the portal are not good enough to play for Clemson anyway. That's why they're in the portal. And you just lost 12 kids to the portal, and you ain't taking nobody.
Is he saying the 12 kids that he lost aren't good enough?
No. The kids that are in the portal, aren't good enough to play for Clemson.
I don't know what he means by that.
Yeah, and
if you have won national championships 3 years straight, you probably can talk that talk. Based off the season they had last year, didn't they get beat by NC State?
They've been beat by. They have not been Clemson in 4 years,
bro.
4 or 5
years. You can't talk like that.
Yeah, because you're gonna turn some people off.
So what happened?
I don't know. Can he talk like that though?
No, but
when you ain't winning, you're not winning like you were.
There's an arrogance that come with coaches that have success. I don't understand it. It's almost like apparently you have a formula for winning, but it seems like once you get to a certain level of winning, it's just like the arrogance just takes over. And then you're back to losing again. What is that about?
Well, it's like, look at Belichick. Perfect example. Thought he could do it without Tom. And what did he do without Tom? Retired?
Hey, man, the word of the day is humility.
Yeah, good word.
That's the word every day. That's the word every day.
Why I'm still this transfer portal, man. How tough is it for a kid coming out, man? It's pretty tough for kids to get those full scholarships. Like you might be able to get. I've never seen so many PWOs or partial scholarships because of this transfer portal, man. These guys in the transfer portal, 24 years old, 5 years, some of them 6. and it's taken away from some of these kids coming out of high school, man. It's a tough deal for these guys, man.
Hey man, listen, it's a win now era.
Yeah,
you know,
I
with
was
the
talking to a
contracts these
coach
coaches
recently.
are getting. I'm sorry, with the contracts the coaches are getting, they got to win now.
Got to win.
They got to win now.
But I was talking to
Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
I was talking to a college coach just last week, and they were telling me they were done recruiting for the upcoming year, but they got 16 scholarships open for kids in the portal. So it's like, dude, they taking 5 kids. And the thing that I've seen with a lot of the kids, man, the kids got this big thing where I'm waiting on something bigger. Like, dude, if they offering you and it's a good opportunity, you better take it.
You better go.
Because I think, like Coach Booker, you were speaking about the challenges, man. I think that one of the major challenges that mentality and approaching it like an adult, but also as a profession, like they don't want those kids coming in there acting like 18-year-olds. They don't have time for it.
No.
Right.
Like when I got to babysit you and tell you you're not supposed to be doing this and that, it's like, man, I'd rather just move on.
They're not gonna do that, man. But then another thing you said, like you said earlier, kids just don't want to compete.
Yeah.
They don't want to compete. They don't want to go in there if they ain't the one. They don't want to go. They want to go somewhere else so they can be the one. Instead of like, man, listen, if you can compete for the one somewhere else at a major program, you're gonna have a lot more success than just going somewhere because you're the guy.
Yeah, man.
They're not that good.
I'm a little disappointed in that, man. I understand the portal and a kid wanting to be that guy. He want to be the number one. I'm real disappointed in how these kids are just don't want to compete. Like being competitive, competing against another guy. If you know that you know that you know that you know that you can be number one somewhere, then I kind of get it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, it's not that I don't want to compete. It's just I want to play, but I know I can play right now at this Power 5 or not even Power 5. It doesn't even have to be a Power 5. I know I can go play right now somewhere else. But I don't know. Some of these guys, I don't know. I don't know what makes these guys, and money, of course, makes these guys leave and transfer.
Money is huge.
Money, I think money is the driving force behind all of it, I believe.
I think these kids
man.
They want instant gratification. So I think some of these kids are excited with the idea of just playing at different schools. I mean, hell, it's the same thing in little league and high school. Let me go over here so I can post and my parents can talk about, I'm going to this school now.
True.
And or some of these kids, I don't think they don't know how to compete. They just not used to competing and what it actually is. I mean, if you got a kid that's been
that means they don't know how to compete.
Right. If you got a kid that's been like a 4-year starter at quarterback at his high school, I mean, what does he know about competing with 5 other dudes that's trying to play quarterback? You don't know.
Right. Do you think there's a lot of thought process put in it as far as when I say that? I mean, like families, who's coaching these kids and mentoring these kids and advising these kids on whether they should go in the portal or not? Because the portal, a lot of these kids get in the portal and don't go anywhere.
But a lot of those kids, Coach Booker, and those recruiters and those college coaches won't talk about that. They are 100% pushing those kids in the portal.
The college coaches are.
They're pushing them in the portal.
But some of them are being left in the portal.
Yeah,
there you go.
Here's the thing: from a marketing yourself standpoint, I mean, you're gonna have to make it look like I decided to get in the portal, so you can be marketable to another school or university. But some of these coaches are like, this dude got to go.
Yeah, but like you said,
the coach at the current school is pushing them in the portal.
Right, they pushing those kids in those portals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
because they're trying to re-up for the new year.
Absolutely. Right. Like, what do you think they're doing with them 16 scholarships that they're not offering to high school kids? And that's the trickle down effect of the NIL. You know what I'm saying? They got to spend that money somewhere. They might as well go get a player.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think honestly, man, the biggest beneficiary in all this stuff, as far as high school kids go, is those prep programs. Because a lot of kids gonna need another year of prep ball to get to college.
Yeah.
I was thinking more the lines of D2 schools are benefiting the most.
D2s will also, but the prep guy's gonna go as well because it's gonna flow. Every shit flows downhill, right? So whatever don't spill out, it's just gonna spill from D1 or to D2, and then so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So those prep programs, got an opportunity to really do some things now. And because I do it for firsthand experience down at Ryan down at Myrtle Beach Prep, he's getting these kids in D1 schools. Big time Power 5 schools.
Really?
Oh yeah. There was 2 kids on a team that was on Syracuse. Like there's Florida State. There was a kid Minnesota, Syracuse, Florida. It was. I mean, I can't even name all. I know Tennessee. Man, there's a lot of kids going a lot of places. Man, big time schools, and then of course you have some. When I say a lot, I'll say like of the 50 kids there, 10 of them are going to D1 schools, and the rest of them may be going D2 or D3, but they're going somewhere. But yeah, you get a lot of kids that's going through some D1 Power 5 schools coming through those prep programs. At least I've seen it firsthand. So, but they got great coaches. Great coaches.
Those graduation rates are going to drop. Kids aren't going to be graduating from college no more. No.
Heck no.
Not. Let me say not student athletes, because it's almost like they're taking the student away from them.
Yeah.
To the point where they're just. Yeah, because I mean everybody knows you transfer a school, those credits not going with you. I think the smartest thing that I've seen some of those kids do is go ahead and lock into those summer sessions and get the university to pay for them while they're there.
Smart.
That way you can go ahead and get into those graduate statuses and still have opportunity to play football, with your degree in school out the way. Or some of those schools with the graduate programs, go ahead and enter the graduate program. You got to be smart about it.
So that means you got to have some good advisors behind you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to get a good foundation behind you, not somebody just looking at how much NIL money you can get. That's going to benefit them. But a lot of that shit's setting these kids up for failure too, man. Setting them up. They go in there one and done here, one and done there, and they may make a little bit of money, but what happens when you don't go to the league?
Yeah.
Hopefully some of them are smart with the money they're getting and make some good investments. But you're talking about that money's gone after you're 21 if you don't go to the league.
Yeah.
Now what? What you gonna do then? You know what I'm saying? So it's you're gonna see a lot more horror stories and success stories with that NIL. I can guarantee you.
Man, I heard this middle school camp is gonna be mainly said football players practice.
He said what?
Yeah, they said the t-shirts are blue and white too.
Yeah, we're gonna sell some t-shirts. We're gonna sell t-shirts, but
no, they said they blue
I
and
got
white
a lot of
Sedgefield colors.
Yeah, you saw in the nice part. Offense gonna be white and green. The MP defense is gonna be white and blue Sedgefield colors.
Oh,
nice shirts though.
Hey, Book,
is this a practice?
Right?
I don't want to know. Are you just having a big high profile practice?
Nah, man. I got a lot. I got a lot of Piedmont kids coming to the camp.
Hey, that boy out there that opened the middle school portal out there.
Hey,
yeah,
middle school. But if they want to come, they more than welcome to come to Sedgefield.
Yeah. They got some new apartments over there in front of the school.
They got a whole bunch.
We got some new apartments there. We got the transit. We got the train running through there. They more than welcome.
Oh Lord.
I got a lot of Piedmont kids. I got a lot of Northridge kids. A lot of Ridge Road kids. And Piedmont.
Yeah.
We got kids from all over, but those middle schools stood out. My Sedgefield kids, of course, they're gonna be there, but I noticed we had a lot of Piedmont and a lot of Road Wilson kids coming out. So we got some good schools coming, man.
Hey, let me ask this.
Good talent.
Are they starting 6th grade football this year?
No, they're not gonna let them play, man. We don't have the funds for that.
Like, what fund do you need to have a 6th grade team?
You gotta buy equipment for them. Are you gonna put the 6th graders with the 7th graders and the 8th graders?
No, I'm
So
saying
you talking about a whole complete
go
team.
back to the JV varsity process.
Oh man, we don't have money in the budget for that.
Man, that's crazy. I remember we was in middle school, man. You
Them
got JV
uniforms,
varsity.
them uniforms, equipment, and you got to get coaches to coach that.
Yeah.
Some of those have the same staff.
Yeah, some of those schools have probably 16 players, man.
Yeah, that's
a lot of schools don't have that many players, man.
But I guarantee you probably could fill more kids if you put the 6th grade kids. A lot of those kids will stop playing youth football and start playing middle school ball.
You might be right about that. I ain't think about that.
Because here's the thing. I think if you started, think about this. If you had back in the day, right? 7th graders, mostly 7th graders were JV, unless you were a dog. Then you had 8th and 9th graders that were varsity, right?
Yeah.
So you got a kid. Now you're basically coming in with only 2 years of middle school experience going into high school versus 3, which is huge.
Yeah.
Which is going to make middle school ball more competitive because now, say that first year group of kids, 6th graders, they come in, they're going to have 3 years experience at middle school ball, man. That, you know what I'm saying? By the time they're in 8th grade, they've been playing in that program for 3 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be good. I mean, that'll be great, but we're struggling to keep middle school going now because we don't make money. Our funds come from.
Hey, so Coach Washington, is that a thing that's universal, or is that just for your program?
He froze.
I think that's a Mecklenburg County thing.
But
are you guys struggling with fielding students or budget wise, anything like that?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I went out to the field just to kind of introduce myself to some of the players, some of the new team, and man, we had 30 freaking football players, bro. Like the numbers at J.M. Alexander right now is staggering. I ain't capping. I'm being straight up. Now I'm not saying that just because twins on here, but man, those numbers, man, the guys, those numbers are big at JMA right now, and pretty impressive. And I think more so because they had a lot of returners from last year. They made the Final Four with a bunch of 7th graders last year. They made the Final Four with a bunch of 7th graders. So the returning, they got a big returning class, and then we got a lot of freaking newbies, man, just coming from nowhere, man. Just coming out of nowhere, man. So
they're coming out the portal.
I don't know about that. Hey, please flip on that. I don't know where they're coming from.
The middle school portal.
I don't know where they're coming from, but right now, J.M. Alexander doesn't appear to be struggling with any numbers at all, nor are they struggling with talent. And the coaching level has woo-wee.
So does that mean they looking to win it all this year? Let me say it.
There is no question that J.M. Alexander will be in contention. Let me just say that.
Hold on, bro. They ain't no, bro.
If you're gonna drop them, drop them. If you're gonna
no, I'm saying I can't predict a championship.
That ain't what you said.
All I can say,
you said
now I'm gonna tell you that the expectation is for J.M. Alexander to be middle school champions. That's the expectation.
You gonna win it or you not gonna win it.
That sounds like a whole lot of backstroking there, Booker.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like I just said, they have a returning class that made it to the Final Four last year. Those kids, the majority of those kids were 7th graders. All right.
So they got a bunch of 8th graders.
They got a huge class of 8th graders, but they're gonna have some dynamic 7th graders starting in positions that are key for even the year after. Hey man, what's
basically
up
all
with this?
you're saying,
What's
all
up?
this to say,
Look who
you're
just
scared
pulled
to
up
say
on
y'all
the
can be a
screen,
championship.
man.
That's what you're saying.
Look who just pulled up on the screen, though.
You're making a whole lot of waves around saying that you're gonna be in the championship, like you said earlier.
Hey, no,
We won't
listen,
say it, but I
I'm gonna be
guarantee
honest with you, man.
somebody from that Central Division gonna be in that championship.
Twin.
What'd you say?
We run the middle school right now.
Twin, you got to get to the Final Four, baby.
Twin dropped his. He said they run it.
We running
You gotta
the
get to the
Central
Final Four.
Division. Central Division is running middle school. You know, Piedmont won it in football. Sedgefield won it in basketball. I mean, we dominant.
Man, what are you talking about? This is a football show.
You might need to throw them boys a basketball.
This is a football show, Washington. We're not gonna let you do that.
I'm just talking about my
that's not what we talk about. Ain't nobody saying nothing about basketball.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Football. Based on what I seen last year and the level that I seen last year, I don't see how J.M. Alexander don't end up in a championship game.
That sound like a straight politician.
What drastically has to happen for J.M. Alexander not to
you're a great spinner. I'm
game.
voting for you. Whatever office you running for, I'm voting for you because you just sold me because you can spin the hell out of it.
Okay. Hey, all right. I tell you what. So we got two Butler Bulldogs. Now, Mr.
He won't say gonna win it all.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You throw it back at him.
So boom.
You better drop him.
Are we looking at?
That's the only goal is to win the state.
Oh, come no. That's just like me saying the expectation is for us. It's the same thing.
Butler will be state champions.
Okay.
He dropped him.
He dropped it.
He wasn't holding him. He dropped him.
Y'all beating on the door. They beating on the door. I can believe it. They beating on the door.
They beating on the door.
Yeah.
Will they have the best O-line in the state of North Carolina? What I want to know.
Simply put, we're gonna be the most physical, fastest physical bigs. Y'all, everywhere I go, that's what the method is. That's the recipe. You'll see. We doing it right now in practice. We working it right now. Right now.
So if you win up front, you win up front.
We driving for 5 all day long.
The drive for 5.
Yes.
That's the energy.
All day long. The film don't lie. From last year, they was doing it.
But this year, adding the guys that they've added this year, meaning coaches, it's a wrap.
It's May, right? It's May, and normally bigs don't show up to July. It's May. They out there getting that work right now. Right now.
What's the big ride? What's y'all's big game? I mean, I know your schedule is out. Looks like your first 4 games is some headbangers, bro. Like the first 4 games of the season, y'all could very easily, yeah, y'all can very easily be looking at
if the
less
haters
than 500 record.
Yeah, it depends on who looking at the first 4 games. If they're from the outside of the Butler community, they may say we may, like you say, be tough. But they on the inside of the community, we're looking at that as a challenge that we need early in the season, at the beginning of the season. So it's gonna prepare us for the end of the season. To be honest, it ain't nothing in there. Some run a 30 front, some run a 40 front, some run a 40. I mean a 30 with a rover, some run a 40 with a jack. We ready for all that right now. As we speak right now, the film is up. I already know what they're gonna try to do.
I think high school football is going to be very, very, very competitive this year. I really do.
I believe so.
I think the fire is back in high school football this year.
Yeah, I think the whole city gonna be represented pretty well across the city. I think people. I have to tell you, my sleeper. It's gonna be West Meck.
West Meck.
That's my sleeper. Yes.
I think the sleeper is Chambers. Did everybody freeze?
You might be right.
I think the sleeper is Chambers this year.
It's
Would
gonna
it
be
be a
West Mac.
sleeper though?
Yeah, right. Hey man,
I
listen.
think Coach Washington have gone to sleeper.
He said he go to sleeper.
What do we think though? While I got y'all on here, while I got my brother Philando on here, what do you think D'Angelo Lloyd going to bring to Garringer that's already haven't been at Garringer without?
man,
Because
why
he
did
got
you
to
do
really
it?
that
That's
admin,
a good question.
that
Philando's
administration is
face.
the change. I don't care
Don't
what
do
coach
it.
they put out there.
Philando
That
said, hey,
administration is the
hold
change.
on.
We're gonna let
Philando, what do you
Philando
think?
take on that
Go back to
What
comment,
is
right?
your thoughts, Philando?
We started the show. Philando said he was happy. Don't do it, man. All right, Philando, go ahead. Jeez.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna put it to you like this, and I don't know the guy, so I can only go by he was a great high school football player, Independence, went to Tennessee, did well. I think he played in the league for a while. But that being said, when you go to a losing program, and you come from a program where you win 6 games in 3 years in middle school.
Who did that?
The current coach.
So D'Angelo, what's his name? D'Angelo who?
Lloyd.
So D'Angelo Lloyd won 6 middle school football games in 3 years, and he's now the head coach for Garringer High School.
He was at MLK.
Great job, CMS. Great job.
No, I thought
who interviewed him?
Friend of a friend of a friend, apparently.
I don't know the guy, and I hope it. I wish the guy luck,
listen,
though.
Man,
I really do wish him a lot of luck.
Let me put a disclaimer on this. I would love to see him go over there and turn the program around. I would love to see it. Here's the thing. When you're on the inside of it, like we just talked about, inside of Butler community, outside of, when you're inside that, Wildcat community, and you see the inner workings of it, it's just not conducive for winning.
Right.
That's the bottom line. And you can't really, come on, how many coaches can you go through? If the common denominator is coaches losing, then the main factor's got to be who's running the show, right? I just seen some things from the inside that just shows me they don't want to have a winning program for whatever reason. And you can't, what I was excited about coaching there, man, because listen, I knew what I was getting into from the first day I went in there, but it was like a whole reprogramming process, and and then you finally got to the point where these kids were believing in themselves and they fought. They lost, but they competed every single game. I never heard we sorry from the inside. People are gonna say what they're gonna say, but in that locker room, they still believe. You know what I'm saying? They believed in the coaches that I went in personally to be more than a coach, right? More of a mentor, more of a father figure, but not here's the key, not as an authority figure, right? Like, I'm not gonna be your friend, first of all, but I'm gonna show you respect as a man. I don't want to go in there as the authority because we know how some of these kids feel about authority. So if I go into it with the mindset of a mentor as a coach is trying to better your life and show you, hey man, listen, I went to this school and I think I've done pretty well for myself outside of that. But
man, listen, man. Is these cats gonna win? No, they're not gonna win right now. And I think the solution to it, and I said it before, I think on a couple episodes back when we first started this podcast, I think the solution to it, and maybe they'll do it one day. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I think they should start off with a JV team and just leave it at that.
Absolutely.
Just build a JV team. You currently do not have a varsity team. So the 12th graders, not that they have any 12th graders that's looking to play football. I doubt if they have any rising 12th graders looking to play football over there. So why not just start with a nice JV team, connect with the community with some of these guys, these 9th graders. They're going to have to go a little bit outside the lines, man. I think people are almost willing to let Garringer go outside the lines to try to bring that program back to, I don't know, I can't say back to anything. But
here's what I'm saying, but what you're saying is true, and those opinions were voiced to the powers that be, and that was shoved to the side.
You think that would work? You think that's a solution?
why are we even at 4A at this point? Because they go off the enrollment, not the clicks, right? If you go off the clicks of how many people actually show up for school each day, we're like 2A.
Yeah.
But if you go off the enrollment, we're 4A. But let's talk about that. You know what I'm talking about, AT. You've been there.
Yeah, we talked about it. Me, you talked about it a couple times.
Yeah, so if you're going off the clicks, meaning how many people actually show up for school each day, you're not 4A school.
No,
You know,
No,
it's two things. I want to bounce back what Booker said. Booker, you're right. The JV, they need to start to grow the JV program. That's the solution. But me and Philando talked about this probably a year ago, Philando. I don't know if you remember. I think in order for Garringer to change the community, they're going to have to get 3 youth programs
Yep.
access to
Yeah.
everything there, and then give them access to JV as far as coaching, because those middle schools are not developing and feeding programs in like these youth programs now.
Oh yeah.
You're going to have to go and identify 3 youth coaches, 3 youth presidents, and start with them, because those are the guys that got kids coming from Rockville to play in Charlotte. Those are the guys that got kids playing all over in our city now, and thinking about, moving here to play their high school ball. But nobody's moving here to play middle school. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
where we got. That's
They
where
are
that
now.
youth coach comes in.
But here's
Oh no, bro.
but speaking on that,
I got a boy from Texas.
I was actually doing that. I linked up with the Sharks, right? New organization. They wanted to, pour into it. And one of the coaches on the Sharks was a teacher or some admin position at Sugar Creek Charter, which they don't have a football team. So
Right.
where would they go? Right? I had that in place, bro. Was working out these kids on Sundays. And guess what happened with that?
So let me ask you this, Coach Clark. What's your message in a situation like that? What's your message to the kids when you have a big stake and a big influence of their life, but you're leaving the program? What's your message to those kids? Like, how do you navigate that situation?
I was, honestly, man, I was kind of hurt that I left, honestly, because I didn't want to be what they had experienced before, right? I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that one and done coach there, and that was my voice that from the day out before I went over there. I was like, listen, man, if you're only going to be here for a year, I don't want to touch it.
Yeah.
But he had plans to be there, and you can't get so many no's and doors shut in your face when you're trying to do things, and you just like, you know what, man, this is not even worth my time. If you got somebody that's committed, that's driving from Greenville, South Carolina every day to come coach there, I mean, and never miss practice, he's committed to the process, then you got to be committed to him as well. But my message to those kids is, man, listen, I'm sorry. I mean, I apologize. I told you I was going to be that guy, but at the same time, they didn't call me and ask me to come back.
So if you know it's bad, do you tell those kids to stay there and endure the situation, or you tell them to get up out of there?
Good question.
It depends on the kid, man. Let's be real. Some of the kids, no matter where they go, they're not going to play. So they might as well stay in a place where they can actually play, and they may get better, and then that may be a consideration. But those kids that's got potential, hey man, you might want to consider some other things. But but that's ultimately up to the parents, man. But yeah, I don't know if I touch that, Tom. Like, I'm not going to try to influence a kid to leave somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if I see the potential, I'll make the suggestion, but I'm not going to push it, if that makes sense. Like, maybe you need to explore other options, but that's up to the parents. But you hate to see it, man, because once you get inside, you start to realize these are some good kids, man. They're just in tough situations, and they're as sad as it is, they're in survival mode all the time.
Right.
And that's not a comfortable place to be for a kid, in survival mode. And that's not a comfortable place for an adult. So imagine what it's like to be a kid that's constantly in survival mode, constantly worried about, everything, everything when they leave the campuses, which is a safe place for them. You know what I'm saying? You know, that coaching, like, you know, I had a kid tell me one time, you know, coach, if I wasn't at practice today, I possibly could have got shot, or because one of his homeboys got shot, and 9 times out of 10, he would have been with him.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's a whole different ball.
football is saving lives over there, bro.
Yeah.
It's saving
What's
lives.
your
So it's
message?
bigger than football. You know, it's way football's a conduit over there in a sense. Like, to get to these kids and say, listen, man, you know, let me keep my hands on you as much as I can. You know, because, you know, a lot of these kids, you know, and it's not their fault. They're going home to no parent being at home, you know, because mom's working 2 or 3 jobs, and, you know, it's just, you know, it's sad, but it's stereotypical a lot of times.
What do you hey Philando, what do you say to the new coach who's he's coming in, man, and he contacts you because he know you were there, and what do you say? What positive energy
I'll say
giving
one
him?
thing. I'll say
But
one
keep it
thing.
real with him though.
No, I'll say one thing. Well, 2 things: be true to your word and be consistent. That's it. Because that's what these kids don't have in their life, is people telling the truth and people consistently showing up for them. And that was the one thing I think our coaches have prided ourselves on. We were consistent from what we said from the day one until the end of the season. You know, so I would say be consistent with those kids. Be real with them. They don't need babysitters. They need men, right? They need men to shape them. You know, don't go in there patting them on the back. You know, and another thing I say, go in there with respect. Like, that's the first thing I said to him. Listen, I'm going to be respectful, and I expect the same in return, and I'm accepting nothing less. You know, but yeah, but the key is you gotta be consistent with what you say, man. You gotta be true to your word and be consistent with what you say. That's
So
what I would say to him.
I can imagine that's difficult coming into a situation and you not know everything that's going into the situation. So what? So when it comes to the coaches and the kids, like, how do we get the kids to re-buy into that situation? Is it, do we tell the kids, you know, Coach Clark left y'all, or do we tell them, you know, the administration didn't support the last staff? Like, how do we keep those kids engaged?
Man,
Is that a
it's gonna be
question
a
for
tough
him?
sell, man. Honestly, it's gonna be a tough sell for a lot of those kids. I mean, the thing he does have to his advantage, he's gonna have a lot of kids that he coached at Eastway coming up, and there was some pretty good football players over there. They had a handful of kids over there, you know, be good, decent football players. So he's gonna come in with that advantage versus Coach Wims coming from out of the state, not knowing anybody. So, and, you know, and his name carries some weight. You know, his good reputation as a football guy. So that's going to help him out. But as far as retooling those guys, they've heard it all before. If you're a senior over there, if you have 4 coaches, you know, so they've heard it all before. So it's like, I really, man, that's a tough question. I don't really know how to answer that. Like I said, just be consistent with it, man. Do what you're going to say. You say you're going to do it, and do it, you know, and regardless, just do it, make it happen. But you got to show them you care about them, bro. That's the bottom line. If, you know, people don't like you, they're not going to do anything from you. It's like in sales. If that person don't like you, they're not buying from you. Yeah,
Right.
so
As a Garinger guy, I think with the way that the neighborhoods have changed over there, there's a lot of millionaire or $1 million houses over there. There's athletes there that's choosing to go to the private schools, not there. I think on the admin side, they got to figure out how to get in that community to get those guys interested to going to a school in the community. Whether they go IB, whether they put programs in there to attract those type of students, which will attract those type of football players, which will change the dynamics of that football team. There's no way that Gary should be going there. I know guys right now that'll leave a program, a good program, and they call themselves these big dog coaches, but a bypass Gary and go be a position coach with no pay at another school, just so they can
well,
be at a winning school. Nobody wants to go there and coach, because that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a coach, and it's going to take more mentors than coaches, to be honest, because those
absolutely.
guys going to show up anyway for football. Football players gonna show up no matter what school they at. They're gonna show up.
Right.
You got to get
One of
those
the
other
things you got
guys
to
that's
do,
borderline football.
to track those people you're talking about, like when you pull into the back of where the buses pull in the back or to the stadium, that's a $500,000 house right there.
Right.
Wow.
But here's my thing: the school looks like a prison. You got to remove those gates. You got to make it look more welcoming. To me, it looks like an institution. You got these big ass gates everywhere, bro. It's like once you in, you're in. You know what I'm saying? So they got to do a lot. I mean,
That was funny.
It is.
No, I'm laughing because AT sank. He started at the top and then he just sank all the way down. What in the heck do you got going on over there, dude?
That lazy boy over there that got comfortable.
He and that lazy boy.
I was trying to hide this, man. Real talk. I was
that
trying
red
to hide.
cup.
What you trying to hide that for? Hey, listen.
I was just trying to respect the show, man.
No, man. This is On the Lines After Dark, bro. Hey, turn that thing up. Hey, but hey, you see what I'm drinking out of though? That Kobe, that mumble. Yes, sir. That's why I wish where Twin go? Where the arm in Washington go? Hey, WEAA, hey, Sedgefield head coach. If you ain't got that mama mentality, boy, you in trouble.
Yeah, man. So they gotta do some community work, man. They gotta change the image of the school, however they're gonna do that. Let's be real. If you live there and you saw that, come on, you're not gonna send your kid there.
Yeah, you really need to do a West Charlotte renovation, rebuild that whole thing.
You think
and
so?
You're gonna attract those type of kids. Put some programs in there for the smart kids. Then you'll be able to get any kind of kid there once you start getting those type of program kids.
Yeah, once you become IB, the doors are wide
there's
open.
no reason no more. There's no boundary no more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that idea you had earlier though, AT, about them reaching out to some of the youth coaches, maybe the 13 U coaches, 14 U coaches.
Yeah, they put them out there because
that's winning.
What?
Even that's winning.
Look,
because you can tell me if they took the Giants 13U and the Mid-Hill Saints, which is you're sinking again, and the Mid-Hill Saints
that cup
13U, and let's say whatever other 13U from last year, G-Top. Yeah. Anyway, if they took collectively those kids and was able to put them at Garinger, that would change
JV. That'd be one of the hardest JVs.
And just start out at JV.
It'd be one of the hardest in the city.
That would change the game. That would change everything. And
so let me ask
2 years,
this,
those guys will be competing.
Right. Let me ask you this. AT, you know a little more about the inner workings of how this go. So is that from the admin or is that from CMS? Was saying, hey, you have to fill the varsity team. Because that's essentially what we were told.
CMS.
Yeah, so that was shot down because that's what I went in thinking. We need to be JV.
But they did a JV 2.5 years ago. They were able to do a JV then. And they was trying to, I think they was going to let the varsity players go play with the next school within their
that makes sense.
Area, the more senior guys.
Yeah.
They can have a season, but I don't know what happened with that. That could have been a COVID year, but I know it was in the talks. But it takes somebody in the admin to fight it. That's all. Yeah. It just take somebody in there.
I think they got the right guy, man. I talked to him. Matter of fact, I talked to him today. Steve Robinson. Yeah. Steve Robinson. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a big power play guy right now. Moving. He moving and shaking, man. I talked to him today. Steve used to be in our program, Philando. He was one of our coaches for
I think you mentioned that before. I'm drawing.
Steve was one of. If you saw him, he's a really cool guy, man, and he's really, really intentional about being a change agent as far as the mindset of the way CMS thinks, right? Yeah. And I think what it is he wants to. His message to me, just talking to him briefly, was CMS is just so used to doing it. They so used to doing it the way CMS do it. But they don't know why exactly. They can't always feel that question. Well, why are you doing it this way?
Right.
Right? They can't always feel that question articulate in an articulate way. So now he's over there. Of course, you gotta, he gotta, he
You
gotta,
gotta play politics.
go
You gotta
through
play
the,
politics.
the protocol and all of that or whatever. But he's definitely adamant about making some changes, not only in high school but also in middle school sports as well. Which I think that's what part of one of his focuses is changing the middle school trajectory, right? So
Right.
yeah.
I think the playoff was the right move, the right move in the right direction because that was some quality football actually.
No, the football was terrible. The idea to put him on the football, I ain't gonna say the football was terrible,
No,
but
I think it was some good football, man. That middle school
but
championship, the
it,
playoffs.
it, it was more competitive than than in the last few years. Let's just say that because let's say this, and I'm not questioning these guys, but Ranson had a really good football team,
Really good football team. That
talented
quarterback is a
football
stud.
team. Piedmont obviously has had a pretty talented football team. I was listening to the announcer, and on several different occasions, the announcer kept saying on 4th and long, inside their red zone, inside the red zone. So Ransom gets the football inside their red zone, not Piedmont's red zone.
Not that.
And it's 4th and 22.
So it's
What are you
we got
doing?
80 yards to go.
What are you doing inside the 20? And it's 4th and long. What you doing, coach? What you doing? You're gonna punt the damn football, aren't you? You're gonna punt the football. Several times Ranson didn't even punt. They didn't even think to punt.
Yeah,
They
I
went
saw
for
that.
it. Right.
That's
So you
bullshit.
tell me, is that quality football? I wish he would. Whoever the coach is, I don't even know him. I was pissed off because I wanted to see good, solid football. You know what I mean? I don't know the guy. You know the guy. I don't know who it is. I couldn't tell you who Ransom's head coach is. But I know darn well if you got the ball in your red zone and it's 4th and long, 20, 13, 10, 5, you punt the damn. This is the first opportunity to win a middle school championship game. And you don't punt. And you don't punt.
Well,
Are
you
you
did
are
say
you
middle
serious?
school.
Huh? So that's what, and we talk about it was quality football. Well, I'm not so sure that's quality football. When
Oh,
you've done
that's now you're speaking on the coaching. The play
so
the coaching might have been terrible.
they who create the quality football? The coaches. You can have all talent in the world, and you can freaking screw it up by making bonehead decisions by giving a Piedmont, which is the favorite, to win the shit, give him the ball at the 20 damn yard line. You know what I'm saying? Come on, dog.
I'll
Come
tell
on,
you
man.
this.
Ain't no
I can tell
quality
you
football.
firsthand.
I want him to
Piedmont
keep
has
doing
been
that shit because I'm gonna see him.
Piedmont has been the beneficiary of some poor coaching across the field. I've seen that.
Really? Yeah.
I was at a game, not this past season, but the season before. They were playing Randolph. And Randolph had a good football team that year, right? Randolph, it was a tie ball game, right? Randolph goes down, scores the tie. It's less than a minute left. They kick the
Oh, I
ball
was at
off.
that game.
That was the most dumbest bonehead play I've ever seen in a coach in my life.
Yes.
Dude, they was at the 40-yard line. They're 40, right? With like 12 seconds left. They throw a pass, get a slant. They get it to like, at the 20-something at this point. They throw a pass, whatever, get to like the 40, right? It's like 16 seconds left, right? No time. Randolph, Piedmont has no timeouts.
Right.
They're scrambling. The clock's running, right? Ref put the ball down. It's 2 seconds left, and Randolph coach calls a timeout on defense.
Randolph coach called the timeout.
Now Piedmont would have not even gotten the snap off because the clock would have ran out.
Right.
He calls a timeout with 2 seconds. They throw a freaking pass and go down the score.
Blanco burned him.
I was just like, why would
You
you call
big
a
dummy.
timeout on defense when they're not even going to be able to snap the ball?
What did Fred Sanford say to Lamont?
You big dummy.
You big dummy.
I was like, oh my, that might.
Hey, that's what I was saying to that Ransom coach, man. I said, hey, dude, the biggest game of probably your coaching career right now. What in the hell are you doing? Not punting the football. Even if you haven't had to punt, you probably dominated every team you played in your conference. Didn't have to punt the football. This week, I'm going to find a punter. I'm sorry. We're going to punt the football.
Mm-hmm.
That dude, man, he gave away the game to Piedmont. Piedmont
is a
good football team, but they never dominated a team like they didn't dominate Ransom.
No, they didn't dominate.
They didn't dominate J.M. Alexander.
That quarterback they had at Ransom was a stud, boy.
Yeah, Jamel. He played for the Giants. That's one of the top running backs in the country. But they had him at quarterback.
Yeah, he was a stud.
He won't play quarterback for anybody else. He's a linebacker, or he could still play running back, but one of the best athletes I've ever played against. He's a pretty good football player. Definitely. He's certified.
Yeah, he was a good ball player. I enjoyed watching him play.
But I'm gonna have some fun with it, man. Little middle school football. But they're gonna I'm not worried about these middle school football teams. If they continue to do what they've been doing, bro, forget about it. Q went over to J.M. Alexander and changed the defense. Quincy Peak went over there and took J.M. Alexander to an undefeated season until they lost to Piedmont, and it was 7-7 at halftime. J.M. against Piedmont to go to the championship game, and he went over there and shut down most of those offenses because of his system and the way he coaches.
Mm-hmm. Now you talk about some terminology.
Oh my God, man, the worst.
Hey, shot it.
I love it, man, but the worst terminology ever.
Nothing like that.
That's my dog right there.
That's my dog. He got the worst terminology ever. You won't hear it anywhere. It's not universal. You can't find it nowhere unless you play for Coach Q. You'll never hear it again once you leave. Hey, man. Get Alfred in there. Get Alfred in there. Now I have to, get Alfred in there. Hey, boy, get Alfred in there. I was like, what the hell did you just say?
Hey, man, let me tell you one of the funniest things I've heard Coach Q say. It was a white kid on our team. And
you sound like a robot right now.
Somebody cracking.
Something cracking.
So we were showing him, rip, swim, and all that shit. And the kid said, well, what if he do this? And he said, whatever you got to do to get that dick off you, shorty, that's what you do.
Exactly.
Boy, you should have seen that kid's face. Boy, he saw a ghost.
Oh, yeah.
And Q got that heavy Atlanta accent, so.
Boy, I be telling Q, I said, hey, man, let him get some water, man. Q coaches these kids to the
job done, man. Q
getting water. Q, hey, you know what? Q definitely gets the job done. He definitely gets it.
And you know what's crazy when you was talking about terminology, Coach Clark? What is it with this thing with grown men waking up in the morning, competing and having issues with other grown men? What is that about? I'm confused. In the coaching work. Like it's like
it's
like a way of life. It's like, yeah, I'm better than so and so don't know what they're doing, and so ain't this good, and that coach over there, their coordinator suck. Like, what is that about? I don't understand that.
3-letter word.
Fragile egos.
3-letter word. Ego.
That's it. Fragile with that.
That's just what it is.
Fragility.
Me personally, I I don't give men that much attention. If we're being honest, I understand how that happens,
Real.
Yeah,
but apparently some people do.
they built different. T. They built different. I don't get it either, brother. I ain't even gonna try to answer it. I don't know the answer to that.
Who are the best coaches in this in
Coach AT.
locally? Who's the best coaching staff right now put together right now? And let's just say just in our area, CMS. Can you name some coaches that are really getting it done, man?
I like Sedgefield staff. I
Yeah,
really do.
yeah, I do too. Actually, I like their staff. I like Coach Washington. I like he got a guy over there. Your brother's
Coco over
over
there.
there.
Coco been over there with him.
Coco, yep, Coco's over there. They
Mm-hmm.
actually have a solid coaching
No, they
staff
got a
over
good
there.
coaching staff.
To
They
be
got a good
perfectly
coach,
honest, they
solid.
do. Huh?
They're solid. I coached over there for a season. They solid.
Yeah, Sansfield actually got they solid. The best team they ever had was when Bubba was over there though. But
Nah,
anyway,
no, the year after that.
the year after that they were good.
Yes.
They were
It
pretty
was
good.
that year, Philando. Y'all had like 13 kids or something.
Yeah, they've been
Yep.
going up.
That was a good team right there, boy.
Man, let me tell you something, bro. You had to coach that year. We had a lot of inexperienced players, man, but we coached them up, man. We really coached them up. They weren't flashy, they were just solid. You know what I'm saying? They just understood what they were supposed to do and do it. Didn't try to do too much. Just
Yeah.
do your job.
Nobody heard anything about J.M. Alexander before it happened.
Not until this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something right now.
Tried to make him talk that junk. He wouldn't do it.
The next powerhouse high school program is going to be, drum roll, please, North Met, because we breed some dogs at J.M. Alexander. North Met going to take over in 2 years because we're going to be sending them some dogs from J.M. Alexander. You know they right out.
That mean y'all gonna be the middle school champions?
We gonna we roll with a championship pedigree, baby. Believe that. We got it. We're gonna have it's a championship pedigree. Hey, get your ticket early.
Get your popcorn too.
Ticket. Hey, get your tickets early, baby, because the ball is coming out quick. And listen, boy, you talking about transfer portal? Good God Almighty!
The middle school.
Let me give me something.
That middle school portal live like that.
Twin them, man.
AT, you been real quiet tonight, man. What you got in that cup?
Oh, I'm listening to the conversation, enjoying the good conversations.
Hey, man. What was your question in the thing? You text me.
Philando had said something about teaching kids to compete, and I was like, kids need to compete, and I was like, a lot of kids though, by the time they get to high school, they haven't been taught how to compete. Some of those programs don't teach competitive drills. They may put them in a game, but y'all can tell sometimes you see dogs that don't know how to compete. They know how to play, but compete is a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother
animal. When that guy standing across you got the same size, muscles, speed as you. What do you have different than him that can compete with him to get that game going, get that ball moving? Some people don't know that. They stop because they ain't been taught how to compete.
Yeah.
I always tell y'all from where I stand, right? I coached a lot of y'all kids and everything. I used to say this to you, Tone, didn't I? I say, man, I could tell when I coach a Betty Sport kid. I could tell. I could tell when I coach. I can tell when I coach a TC kid in high school. I can tell. It's a mental thing. It's like they not there to lose. It's a different mentality. I can tell when something comes from the Hurricanes or G-Top. You can tell. You can tell. A Giant kid, you can tell. I can tell.
It's a culture, man. You create a culture.
Some people that you get and you hear all of that, you be like, you know what? This kid don't compete. Tone, don't we run into that? They don't compete. You can tell they don't.
Hey, the saddest part about it is, man, you got some kids that come from in certain organizations or middle schools where you can tell that's where they came from because the lack of competition in them, and a lot of times it be a lot of those coaches that are on the internet doing the most whooping about how
Yeah.
good they coach, and when they
Yep.
kids get to you on that high school level, it's like, yeah, that's where you came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can tell, man.
True statement.
It's sad. You can tell though. You be like, oh, my goodness.
That's terrible. I was talking to a guy today. I was in the gym with him, and he was working out. And his boys and his sons walked in, two of his kids, and he was telling me where he coached football at and all that. And yeah, and he said, "Well, yeah, I'll be coaching this 7U team this year. I'll be the head coach." He said, "I've been coaching for the last couple years," and he said, but you know, I can't coach the kids hard. I don't coach the kids hard. He said, I coach my sons hard and just hope that the other kids will catch on. I said, hey, bro.
You can't
Whoa.
win like that.
I said, bro, you got to coach all the kids the same.
That's daddy ball.
You got to coach all them kids hard, man. Yeah, I just be a little worried about the parents. Hey, bro, create your program, create your system, build your culture. But if that's your culture, then you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle with winning. But he said, I just coach my kids hard. It's ridiculous. But and that's the mindset of some of these young coaches, man. I don't know. I don't get it.
That sounds like a definition of a daddy ball right there.
Yeah, what I told him in a nice way. I said, yeah, man, you just got to kind of watch some parents, man, because it'll look more like daddy ball. Like you favoring your son. You got to be careful about that. Oh no, I'm gonna coach the kids. Well, you just said you're not gonna coach them.
Yeah,
The
right.
same way you coach your kid. You coach your kids hard. You hope they just look at it and see it. And nah, bro, that don't make sense. But I ain't want to dog the lose.
But some guys think like when they do that. Somebody told me this once. A lady told me this once because I was kind of guilty of that. I was being extra hard on my son. But that's kind of like showing favoritism because you're taking away from other kids because you're trying to prove that I'm gonna coach my son. You know what I'm saying? That you taking away from other kids trying to prove that you're not coaching daddy ball, which you essentially are.
Right.
Coach them all the same. That's what I look at. You coach them all the same.
Absolutely.
Whoever stay in line, and who can't gonna be on the sideline. That's just the way it goes. Because you're doing them a disservice if you're not coaching them hard. If you're not teaching them, if you're not teaching them that early, man, you got to instill that early. As soon as they start playing football, this is a competitive sport. And if you're not going 100 miles an hour, there's a chance you're going to get hurt.
Period.
Right? If you're not competing, you're going to get hurt. Because that guy across from you in a different helmet don't care nothing about you.
They don't understand that sometimes the guy across from you, man, he playing for something.
You know what I'm saying? He don't care nothing about you.
He playing for something, man. Like some of these guys are like that's why I tell my son, man, you gotta think about what's your why.
Facts.
What's your why, man? Why are you doing this, man? Because the guy that's playing DB across from you, man, you never know, man. That kid might be that you don't know what he's going through, you don't know what his path has been, you don't know what his why is, bro. And you might look like it might seem like you better than him, but man, in the end, that kid's why takes over and he might dominate your ass because you take him for granted. These kids gotta know. And I preach that to some of my kids. I tell some of my kids, man, before the game, man, hey, look, today I want you to play for your why. I want you to play for your why, for the person that that will never quit on you, because you'll quit on yourself. Think about the person that will never ever quit on you, no matter what you've gone through in your young age. The way you got through it is that person. Think about that person. Think about that person that never ever quit on you, man, and pushed you as hard as they could to make sure you got over that whatever you was going through. That's who I want you to play for tonight. Your why.
That's a good statement.
This is why. You know what I'm saying?
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. You got to find something, man. You got to find something.
You got to find your why, man. Yeah. A lot of these kids don't unlock, man. It's a gift that God gave you to perform, man. To not be God. God don't want you to be mediocre, bro.
Nope.
God ain't no mediocre God. He's competitive. You know what I'm saying? And he inserted a competitive spirit inside of you, and you just got to unlock it. You know
gotta
what?
tap into it.
You got to tap into it. And a lot of these kids never unlock. But
Mm-hmm.
you'll go on the game. You on I tell my sons this. You'll go on PlayStation, and if you playing 2K and you're trying to create this player, in order for him to get to the next level, you got to continue to unlock him. You got to
Right.
He got to continue. What does he have to do? What does he have to do to get that next ranking? Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got to do something great. Right? He's got to do something great. He continues to unlock until now you got your player, the best player. Y'all do that all day, man. You got to unlock just like you do on PlayStation. I think they's playing this Fortnite thing in order
That
to
makes
get to the
sense.
next level. You know what I'm saying? To get it's levels to it, man.
Right.
But you got to be willing to unlock. What would you sacrifice? What is it? You know, So these kids some of these coaches, man, just don't feed these kids. Sometimes you
Right.
got to give them that
You know
zen.
what? That's a overused term too, because I don't think people understand what sacrifice is. Some people think, I'll put myself in how I look at it. Like when I was competing, I hear some of my guys like, man, I sacrifice, going out, and you're not that's gonna be there. That club's gonna be there. That cake that you couldn't eat is gonna be there. Now if you have to miss your son's graduation because you're prepping, that's never gonna happen again. That's a sacrifice,
That's the
right?
sacrifice. Yeah,
That's a sacrifice. Just because you can't go out party on the weekend, that's part of the process. That's not sacrificing shit. Club's gonna be around to the end of time, you know. But what are you willing to give up? That's not sacrifice. What are you willing to do that's part of that process to make you go to that next level? Sacrificing is stuff you can't get back, in
right.
my opinion. But just because you can't drink or you can't do this because you're in prep for a competition, that's not
That's not
sacrifice. That's
sacrifice.
part of the process.
And that's part of the process. And that's the
Part of the
one big
process.
thing. The process. A lot of kids don't want to go through the process. They want it. They want it. They want it right now, man. These kids, a lot of these kids, and even these coaches, man, it's a process. And a lot of them don't like going through the process, man.
Right.
And they
Right.
they want it right now. And inside that process, gonna be some. It's gonna be some painful days that you got to get through. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some days where you just don't want to go. It's
Yep.
gonna be some days where the coach push you to the edge to where you want to just quit.
Yep.
It's all part of the process. It's gonna be a guy that come in from another school that's a dog, and you gotta compete to maintain your leverage on that depth chart. It's
Yep.
part of the process.
You
All of
know,
it's a process. Are you willing to go through the process? A lot of these kids fuck the process. I'm just gonna
I
transfer.
yeah. You know what? You see these trophies behind me? You see the gold one, right?
Yeah.
That's a fourth place trophy. You know why I keep it in the middle? And those two to the right of it are first place in overall. And that was after that fourth place trophy, right? So that fourth place trophy came from me thinking that was my first time competing in like 20 years, right? I'm thinking, oh, I won the last show I was in. They know me, this, that, and the other. I went to Vegas. I had some drinks. I wasn't doing all my cardio. I was just kind of like, because I had been in that kind of condition before. And once I was looking like that, I was like, oh, this is good enough to win, right? But the game changed in 20 years, right?
Right.
So there was different levels of qualifications of what condition was. And so I got fourth place. And then when they called my name for fourth place, I knew exactly why I got fourth place.
Right.
Right. I knew exactly why. It started replaying in my head. Damn, you didn't go this hard on this workout. You went to Vegas. You didn't do, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I said right there, when they called my name for fourth place, I said the next show I compete in is not going to be, if I don't win, it's not because I didn't pour everything into it. Somebody was just better. And that happens. You can do everything you can do and you can prepare, you can do all the things, but if someone's better, they just better.
Yeah.
But that proved to me when I lock in, I'm gonna win. And I did. And that was
That's
like
what's
3 months apart. Right. So I get it. Like if you don't go through the process, you know, a lot of the term a lot of bodybuilders use is suffering. You got to
up.
suffer. Like I would be dog tired, but as soon as I touch them weights, energy shoots through. As soon as I leave the gym, tired again. Right.
Right.
But I understood like no matter how tired I get, there's somebody still on that treadmill. Somebody on a step master. If I quit one day, I'm 2 days behind. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, I put everything into it and it came out the way I wanted it. So, you know, I understand the process and, you know, and I had to sacrifice some things. I had to miss some things that my kids were doing, but it is what it is. And, but the reward was there.
Right.
So that's why I look at sacrificing and process as two different things.
Hey, AT, what's the energy like over there at Butler right now?
Oh man, listen. Let me start with everybody you've had on your panel, right? So we get over there, we still got that. I never say I got a specific. I consider myself still got that youth swag. You know what I'm saying? That youth football coach swag. We get over there and we come in there like the same way book when we went up to Virginia 757
Woo-hoo.
in that All-Star
Yes, sir.
summertime. When
Yes,
we
sir.
seen Mike Vick them, we
Yep.
knew we were gonna win though.
Yes,
We didn't
sir.
know who we were gonna play, but we had that who that is. Remember that book? What
Yep.
team is that? Who that
Yes,
is?
sir.
We knew we were gonna win. We had that. That's how we walked in there. So when they made the little video of my brother Philando, right, I could just see Philando smiling
Feel
like
like a
he
little boy.
did a scratch off. Like his
Right
somebody,
here.
you know what I'm saying? And he looking at the kids, and he wasn't Philando. He was Philando. You know the Philando when you got him at the linebacker drill. Like
Yeah.
I would tell somebody like Philando up here laughing. They'll know he a linebacker coach. He be hurt. He go hurt them kids.
That
So he
that what
get
I
in
try
there.
to
He
tell him.
running them.
Yeah.
He running them right. He running them. And that was the beginning, Booker, of there are new people here now. And we gonna do things a little different. It is nothing against what was there before us. It's just this is how we move. This is
Right.
how emotion moves. And we ain't changing nobody culture. We gonna join y'all culture when
There you
y'all
go.
join ours. That was the
Absolutely.
move, man. We here to work with y'all. We not trying to we appreciate everything Hills did was wonderful. Everything Stone them did, man. You can tell the way them kids are cut up. Some of them guys had took it serious. But this is the first time in a long time for me.
Where's my boy Stone at? Anyway.
He's right. He got opportunities. He's still working at the school.
Yeah.
It is first time, Booker, that I walked in there and seen bigs at this time of year competing in the weight room.
Wow.
I'm being real. Just
That's
I'm talking
huge.
about lifting hard, sweating. When they come out of there with when they come out of the hellhole with Philando, we get them. We keep their heart rate up, get their maximum heart rate right there in the parking lot. And
Yep.
it's just and they never stop for 90 minutes. They never stop moving. That's different. That's a big difference right now. You
And
know what I'm
shout out to
saying?
Stone, man. Stone welcomed me, man. Well, man, I appreciate him, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
he welcomed me right on in there, man. And I had a relationship with Stone prior to that, but man, you know, it was beautiful, man. It was a smooth transition.
Yeah, I think he left. I think they left good stuff there. You know, it's good stuff there right now. You know, and I say back from my old school chambers because we still that little. We still got about the 3-peat over there with the girls' flag team ain't lost.
Right.
You know,
I got you.
had to put that out there. I still think there's a lot of talent to win over there. The difference is for me, Booker, over there, it's speed ball. Over here is power ball. It's a difference. The running backs are big over here.
Yeah, it's a big
More
running
weight,
back.
they weight room big. You know what I'm saying? It's weight room big. The linemen are weight room big. They not no other way. They weight room big, but they're not quitters though. I do like that. It's just that there's something. I think you touched on it, Philando. They got to get to that dog stage to where they know they dogs, not us telling them they dogs,
Right.
not them being 12-2 and thinking, well, we went 12-2. You know what I'm saying? We no, they got to get to that stage to where I'm a dog. Like Booker, like I told you, when we walked into the 757, we didn't know who we were gonna play.
Right.
We knew we were gonna beat them.
Facts.
Right.
We had it in our head, and
Because
not
you
just
know who
that.
you
Every
are.
time we go up there and play somebody, we had it in our head. We're better than y'all.
I
We
beat
gonna
them
beat
twice
y'all.
in a row.
You know, that's the mentality. And then
Real.
Booker, you talk about coaching staffs. You remember the year before that when we out at? I think that was one of the best coaching staffs we had then. It was youth football, but everybody was in it. We was at
Right.
JT Williams practicing, and we
Yep.
went and played that Winston team, who was a lot older than us, and they beat us up a little bit. But once we played them again, wasn't even no competition. We scrimmaged them, I think. Did we scrimmage them, Booker?
Yep. We scrimmaged them over at Mallard Creek.
Mallard Creek, and they was like, they were trying to be a little dirty with it, you know. But I'm saying that was the best thing happened to our team. See,
Facts.
that's when you find that type of adversity. We use that adversity and put it in our foundation and put bricks on top of it so it couldn't go nowhere. Just harden it
Absolutely.
up. And then from that minute on, Booker took his team. We won the whole nationals, then Booker won the next year. And it was two Charlotte teams playing for the next national championship down there.
That's big
Yep.
stuff, man.
Yeah.
Charlotte got some ballers, man. Charlotte's full of football
Oh,
players.
it's showing up. It's showing up in the draft now.
Yep.
It's been
Yep.
showing up in the draft. The talent
Yep.
been showing up. We ain't got to no more go out of town. I told somebody this. It was like, man, we need to go to Georgia. Man, we need to go to Winston. No, we don't. They need to come here. Because
Charlotte.
Atlanta don't come up here and play.
That's
Them
right.
teams don't come up here and play. We have to go down
Right.
there. We just as equal as them now. We can
That's right.
we can play all our games in Charlotte and still get it off.
That's a
Facts.
fact.
Gotta go nowhere no more.
I always said, man, UNC so you can build a team in Charlotte for kids in Charlotte and be competitive.
I
They
think
will be
so.
the. Hey, pay attention. What you think Maurice Flowers doing over there? Why you think he winning like that?
Charlotte kids.
Yeah, he getting
Yeah,
them
I
Charlotte
see.
kids.
Because they won last year, didn't they?
Yeah, they
They had a
won
good
last
season.
year.
Yeah, they had a good season last year.
So did Gardner Webb. It's a lot of the Charlotte kid beginning to stay around the house now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like this, you know, and I want a 1-star kid in Florida is a 4-star in another state. A 1-star kid in Charlotte is a 3-star in other states now. We used to didn't be able to be like that.
Mm.
But you look at James Pierce. When he went to college, his senior year, he was a 1-star. He didn't do Twitter. He didn't do all that stuff they do now. He didn't go to Rivals. He didn't go to Nike. But he finna be the #1 draft pick in the league next year.
Yep.
He didn't do that because that's the level of talent that's laying around Charlotte.
Brother, they had a kid. They had a kid go to Western Carolina. He was a receiver. He was a 4-star receiver. For whatever reason, he fell off the radar on college, but he was a 4-star receiver for like 3 years in a row. And he went to Western Carolina. We was worried about him because, we was trying to figure out what our positioning was in this whole recruiting thing. So he was from South Florida. That's everybody rant and rave over the South Florida athlete, right? So we was a little worried. We like, I don't know, man. They bringing in this South Florida athlete, man. They probably gonna, that's gonna be probably their favorite. Shit. He ain't seen the field. Zion killing them. North Carolina boy, killing them. Zion was like, man, and Zion continues to tell me, hey Dad, them South Florida boys are overrated. They overrated. Them boys from Florida overrated.
Them boys down there chasing rabbits.
Yeah.
Rabbits don't hit back.
Let me tell y'all something. The higher you go up in your career, the more that they looking for technicians. They looking for you to be tactfully proficient. All right. And you looking at a Zion Booker that run perfect routes ever since he was like cadet. You know, his daddy tried to sabotage his career, put him at quarterback. That was some old hate shit. But